more stops. Two more stops. One more stop.
Hola George, ¿cómo estás? How are you?
Very good, thank you.
I just watched your movie. I just watched Vanquish, and it was very exciting. My emotions are like, oh my God, and Ruby Rose kicks ass. So
She certainly does, yes, thank you.
it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun watching it.
Thank you.
Can I ask you, why did you want to make this movie?
You know, I always wanted to make a real fun, nail-biting kind of action movie. You know, most of the films I've done, I mean, I've done a few that had action in them, but I never did a straight-ahead action movie. Most of the movies I've done were comedies, and when the opportunity presented itself, I was like, yeah, sure, that sounds great, because I love movies, and I watch everything, but to get a chance to, delve into different genres, it was just great. It's a lot of fun. And plus, Ruby's great. She's become a very good friend. And Morgan Freeman, this is my third movie with Morgan. So it was a chance to work with my buddy Morgan. So yeah, those are the reasons, that I wanted to do it.
I was gonna say, how was it like working with Morgan again? Because you guys have made, you just said it, 3 movies together.
Yeah, the last 3 movies I've done with Morgan. He's a great guy and he's a lot of fun, and it's great to work with professionals. Like Morgan Freeman doesn't need a lot of takes. One take, he basically he nails it. So for me, it's effortless as a filmmaker. I could just point the camera at Morgan Freeman and he does it, and then we move on to something else. And plus, it's always nice to work with friends because you trust each other. And when you're making a movie, trust is very important, that the other person's always looking good, and that, and if it's not working, you could be honest and say, hey, let's try it this way, but yeah, it was great working with him again. We're doing another movie now. We're doing another movie in a few months. So
that's very exciting.
Yeah, it is. It really is.
To have Morgan Freeman as one of your best friends.
It is wonderful. Yes. God is one of my best friends. Yes.
The voice of God, right?
Yes.
That's amazing. And tell me, how's the experience as a director of having one of the greatest actors in the air, someone as Morgan Freeman, and having Ruby Rose, who's starting on the same, working together? What is that experience for you?
Well, you mean the fact that Ruby's at the beginning of her career and Morgan's an old pro? Yeah. It's very interesting. Morgan's very giving and very patient guy, but Ruby really brought it. I mean, she knew she was going up against Morgan, so she really brought it. But I think it's just I as a director, I just let stuff happen. I put the actors in the room, I watch them work. I don't. If you hire the right people, you don't have to make a lot of adjustments. You know what I mean? So a lot of times. I always think about directing that, like, once you've cast the movie and you figured out how you want the movie to look, and you hire all the right people, you're almost 90% done. You just have to allow it to happen at that point.
Ruby did a great job.
She did.
She's fantastic.
I'm doing another movie with her too. I'm going to do another movie with her too in the fall. So.
Oh, look at that! You're just collecting friends and making more movies.
I know, it's really lovely. I try to run the set like a party. You know what I mean? So like somebody once said to me, and it makes a lot of sense in any creative endeavor. They said, let the work become a byproduct of having fun, and if you're having fun, the work has to be great. So.
I guess that must be the greatest compliment among creative people, when you're invited to work again among each other, correct?
Yeah, I would. Yeah, I'm very happy that they'll have me back, and and I do my best to make them shine. I mean, that's really all a director's job is.
I need to know right now: are you in or out?
Let's do this.
And let's talk a little bit about the movie, because as you were saying before, the movies that you have made in the past are more a little bit comedic, more of a satire, and this one is a lot of action, and it kind of reminded me that you wrote it. Correct me if I'm wrong, but you wrote the story for Bad Boys. Like,
yes, I did.
And I was like, oh, that's a little bit like that.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I've just never had a chance to direct one of those, but I've written a few of them. It's different to write them in the comfort of your own home, and then you have to go on the street and actually start smashing up cars and stuff. It's easier to write it than to direct it. But the motorcycle chase stuff was fun to shoot. We shot a lot of the stuff in Mississippi down by the docks. So we have free reign of all the docks and, all the birds flying around. That was not intended. They just happened to be there. So,
I was wondering how many scenes or how many takes of Ruby riding the bicycle did you take? Because she drives the bicycle a lot in the movie.
Not too many. We shot this movie very, very, we shot it during the pandemic, the height of the pandemic. So, I wanted to keep everybody safe. Everybody was wearing masks, obviously. And then when we went to shoot, everybody would take, the actors would take their masks off. But I didn't want to wear people out. So I pretty much, once I got it, I moved on.
That's what I was going to mention, that this is the perfect script to be filmed during the pandemic, because the scenes are separate, the action scenes are separate.
Yes.
Ruby Rose is like on a journey, and you don't have to mix too many people together.
No, that's exactly right. We got very, very lucky, because that's part of the reason, we had the script, and the reason that the studio felt comfortable greenlighting the movie is that we would not get into trouble, because there weren't huge crowd scenes and lots of people breathing on each other. She is basically alone on that bike, in this city, and just has interactions with just very few people. But
and it gets bloody. How fun was to make those gory scenes?
Yeah, I mean, we had a look again. It's funny because, like, in a movie, it's when you watch the movie, it's very, very tense. But when you're making the movie and you're doing it, all we did was laugh all the time.
Yeah.
Like if a blood bag misfires or something, because it's just all acting. And the second somebody would get shot and fall, they would start laughing off camera. But it's funny, like the tensest moments in the movie, actually, when you're making it, they're not that tense. We're just having a good time. In fact, one of the actors, the French guy, in the stadium at the end, the labor boss, he was actually he's the editor of the movie.
Oh wow!
Because I put all my friends in the movie, and he'd never acted before. And I said, "Hey, why don't you just play the part?" And we were shooting so much, we were so tired that when he got shot and fell on the ground, he fell asleep.
Oh,
yeah, because we were standing around. We go, "What's that sound? What's that?" He was snoring. He was on the ground. That's absolutely true. So, because sometimes we were shooting like 15, 16 hours.
He took his chance. He's like,
yes, he did.
And you've been making movies for a long time. And I do
1,000 years.
And I do want to ask you, I mean, you're making this action movie with a female main character and with Morgan Freeman. How important for you is to have these characters that many people wouldn't make the main characters of an action movie?
That was it. Look, to me, that was the fun of it. And that was the challenge. Like in many ways, she was his mobility, and he could act everything out through her because he was stuck in the wheelchair. So that creates an instant bond between the two people, even though they're fighting throughout the movie, and so that part of it was fun. And the thing that's great about Ruby is she's very, very believable as the type of person that could go around and just shoot all these people without any worries, because a lot of times I think sometimes that, she can really bridge that gap of being very, very tough and vulnerable at the same time. There's something, she's not pretending to be a badass. She just is a badass, but she's also got something in her that's very vulnerable. So she's always playing those two things at the same time, which I think it's good. It's very strong. It's good. It helps the movie a great deal.
I mean, everything she's doing for a reason. She's doing for her daughter, right?
Yes, completely. Yes. Don't get between a mom and her kid.
You said it. And finally, why don't you invite everybody to watch the movie?
Oh, hey everybody! Please come see Vanquish. It's absolutely a ton of fun. You'll jump a few times. You'll laugh a few times. There's a lot of great action, and it has a very interesting and unexpected happy ending.
It is pretty cool.
Thank you
so much. Thank you so much, George.
So much. I appreciate it.
I really enjoyed the movie. Thank you so much for sharing it with us.
Thank you.